Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey, good evening everybody. Militiaman and Crew here once again. Just wanted to say hello. Hope everybody is having a good week, starting it off with a fine and dandy afternoon. Hey, look, everybody, if you guys have not found us yet at www.patreon.com/MMANDCREW, MM and Crew. Please come join us. We'd love to have you. We have a vibrant Discord chat room that's called Militiaman's Chat Room. Okay, easy to get access to. We have Gigi. She welcomes everybody, and Greg. They do a wonderful job. And when Sunkist's not too busy, she shows up and helps out a great deal too. Let's not forget Samson. Super Samson brings us information. She's out of a totally different time zone. She's over on the bottom half of our planet, down there in the Australia area. So interesting time zones. That's why we get information so much sooner than a lot of people in a lot of respects, is because she's up at that time of night where most of us are sleeping. So I hope you guys like that part of Patreon, or Militiaman and Crew Patreon website. So yeah, come check us out. Hey, there's a really kind of some fascinating stuff. This is going to be kind of short and sweet. One of the things, there's quite a few articles out today that it says that Iraq is moving to expand their electronic transactions within the market. And we all know that they've been working on this for many years, but they're also just basically reiterating a lot of the things that are happening right there. They're basically suggesting that, and there's a consensus that there's importance to expanding their electronic transactions. So they're moving forward with them, and they're not going to stop, because Iraq is going to more of a digital society, as digital financial society, just like we are. We are here in the United States. Globally is basically, there's digital transformation. You guys should have by now know that if you're doing your study on your own, the digital transformation has been around for a long time. Financial inclusion has been around for a long time. And the largest entities on the planet that have to deal with monetary policies, above my pay grade, believe it or not, but they are talking about sustainable development. They're talking about financial inclusion. They deal with all those things, even as high as the WTO, the World Bank, the Bank of International Settlements. I mean, you just go to their websites and do a little surfing, and you're going to say, wow, these buzzwords Militiaman's been telling us about for all these years is really live, and it's kind of in our face. So keep that in mind. There's a executive director of the Iraqi Fund for Development. A lot of money going to be going on through that development fund. His name is Mohammed Al-Najjar. He says he's confirming that the digital transformation in Iraq represents a serious step to develop government performance in a way that supports the development trends that the government aspires to, in a great need for work that requires an ideal work environment. So they want to have the development fund ideally helping to make the Iraqis be a part of this whole process. He says that the expansion of the electronic payment cards within the local markets, they represent an important step to regulate the national financial sector in particular, and gives local and international confidence in local financial transactions. So they're talking about international confidence, which is, didn't we see that restore confidence there at Davos a few months back? I think we did. I think it's a big thing. Buzzwords, confidence. And there's a lot of it. Al-Sudani has a lot of confidence. I bet you could probably look up Al-Alaq, who is the central bank governor, who has been speaking about confidence. He's spoken about delete the zeros in the past. He says that the Delete the Zeros project still exists, and we're going to see something about that today, which is going to be fascinating. Not necessarily from Al-Alaq just yet, but we're going to talk about it. The expansion looks like it's going on. International confidence, local financial transactions, and the development of the financial sector can be one of the most important factors attracting work in the Iraqi market from various international companies. Remember, we talked about the other day, every one really a good job creates 4 to 6 jobs. International companies, they're going to need employees. Okay, it's going to be a big deal. The executive director of the Association of Private Banks in Iraq, Al Tariq, confirms and continues his efforts to enhance the culture of the electronic payments, which represents a governmental and legislative direction for the next stage. So the governmental and legislative, legal. Today, I didn't see anything on it yet, but I believe that the international investment law was on the table today in Parliament. Hopefully we'll see something in the next 24 hours in respect to that. I can't imagine them not having taken care of that. But some of the things that were talked about today, you kind of make you go, how's that? What makes you go hum? Well, we're going to find out about that. And here, this gentleman by the name of Al Hamdani, he's pointing out and a relationship and a reality, which is that Iraq is developing their financial transactions when they represent an inevitable necessity, and the government's serious approach towards shifting to electronic financial transactions will create a new culture within the society, one that will keep pace with the developments of the world. They're going to be witnessing these things as we go forward, even with the citizens to this day. They've had fear in the past. I think they're overcoming it, but they're going to experience a better understanding. They're going to experience an expansion of what they've been seeing, and it's going to grow. So it's the longer it effectively takes, the more people are going to be involved and be more acceptable. They're going to go on to, it says that the access to global and regional experiences by large segments of the population or the citizens contributes to interacting with the reality of electronic payments. It says that the Iraqi market has been around for almost a decade and was able to expand all the while providing fast and secure services that suit the citizens' needs. But it's kind of old news, I know that, but the bottom line is it is happening. Al Hamdani confirms that the commercial transactions with local markets have actually begun to adopt electronic dealing. So we all know that they've been having to deal with not the dollar in commercial transactions, but the dinar. So they're getting to that stage where everybody's going to have to be on board, and I think they've already started that. And I think they're probably really raring to go. It says that the retail trade market is witnessing buying and selling operations that are in very large amounts. And what does that do? It makes it difficult for the citizens to carry large amounts of currency to be able to do their retail businesses, etc. So what the electronic transfers do is that they create a safe environment, less cash, less hassle, less counting, accurate, less inflation. Iraq doesn't have coins just yet, so when you go to buy something, you don't get change, so you might get short-changed effectively because you can't round to the nearest dinar. Fills are to the thousandth place, as opposed to the what? The smallest note is, I should know this, what is it, 250 dinars? Okay, so you can see that even though 250 dinars is at 0007 per dinar, it's not a lot of money. But nonetheless, if you're not getting exact change, you're losing money. So that's pretty big. That's been out today. The next thing is that I'd like to talk about is some articles that were brought out today. It has to deal with U.S. Secretary Anthony Blinken, Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani. They talked back in Munich. They had some things that they were calling for early elections. Why is that important? Well, al-Sudani is going to be under the gun here pretty quick. Basically, that says that the ruling party, which is the coordination framework, have trying to call for early elections to overthrow the Prime Minister, Shia al-Sudani. Don't panic, just hear me out. It says the coordination framework, part of which al-Sudani has been a member. He wasn't in originally, but he became a member as time went on. And the coordination framework is an alliance of the Shiite parties that have, to be fair, loyal to the neighbor, and that's Iran. But after assuming his premiership, al-Sudani changed his approach toward the parties and came to disagree with many of their political positions. Not necessarily a bad thing, but not necessarily a good thing for him. But we're going to see. He says that the al-Sudani was the Islamic Dawa party leader, but he stepped down in 2019. The media is suggesting that the coordination framework parties have been meeting for about 5 months and plan to call for elections in 2024 or even in early 2025. So this is not necessarily in our face today. It's good information. It says the plan is to attack the prime minister, belittle his achievements, bring him down popularly, and create more political and economic problems, after which the Iraqi street will go out in demonstrations demanding the overthrow of the government, and then call for early elections and not nominate al-Sudani again or grant him any position. The source who asked remains anonymous. Okay. But the source did note that previous Iraqi prime ministers had lost their positions after the Iraqi public turned against them. So they're thinking, sounds like, that they could probably try to do that again. Well, I have a feeling that if you look at the sentiment that's been behind al-Sudani for the last year and 5 months, I don't think that's going to happen. Another person you have to keep an eye on is al-Sadr, because al-Sadr has been on al-Sudani's side, and that's why he's been probably pretty quiet, is because al-Sudani has been knocking it out of the park, he really has, which is really good. It goes on to say that the party fears creation of a new political party. The parties fear that al-Sudani may announce the formation of a new political party or an alliance, run in the upcoming elections, and become the ruling party majority in Iraq. So there's that side that's the coordination framework is getting nervous. There is here it says the dispute between the coordination framework and al-Sudani relates to the prime minister's approval of U.S. Federal Reserve policies to prevent currency smuggling. So all those guys that were, benefiting smuggling outside of Iraq, they seem to have a problem, and they're not too happy about it. He says these measures reduce the circulation of U.S. dollars in Iraq and increase the price of the dollar. Al-Sudani also implemented several policies that have boosted his popularity. Key point, he increased government salaries and wages for retirees, launched major development projects in the capital and several Iraqi governance, announced plans to improve infrastructure and expand the nation's roadwork network. Development road project, tripartite budget, all of that's going to need money to be able to facilitate. According to official statistics, al-Sudani has also significantly reduced unemployment. He's passed a social security law for workers in the private sector. He's announced a plan to build 1,000 schools and more than 1 million residential units. I believe they're talking upwards of 4 million units, upwards of 10 to 15 industrial cities. You can't do that at 1310. I'm not sure. Even 1,000 schools probably. We'll see. He goes on to say that in September 2023, there's an opinion poll that came out, and the Government Advisory Board found that al-Sudani enjoys a 78% approval rate. And another poll comes out, Statistical Organization finds him to have an approval rate of 51%, which is, in their view, the highest of any Iraqi official. One thing to note, too, is al-Sudani has spurned many political allies and opponents. For instance, he didn't support the former Speaker of the House of Parliament, Muhammad al-Habousi, and he worked for his removal. He also removed most of the leaders of the Popular Mobilization Forces, a group that was, again, Iranian-backed militias. He did that from government positions. I'm pretty sure that if we watched the news, I think there was a little bit more to that story, but that's not for here tonight, okay? So anyway, the Iraqi government, this is fascinating, you guys. This is really fascinating because this is coming from Iraqi government today. In the same context of al-Sudani, it says Iraq government is currently weighing the question of changing the currency so that the official cost of a US dollar will be 1.32 Iraqi dinars instead of 1,320. Implementing such a decision is likely to significantly increase al-Sudani's popularity. You gotta laugh and you go, you think? Bring the purchasing power of 0.76? That's what it equates to. You gotta realize that. It's basically we're deleting the zeros, just like we've been talking about. That's what al-Sudani has told the citizens, that the dinar is going to be stronger. Well, 76 cents is not stronger. However, effectively, once they delete the zeros, then they can apply their real effective exchange rate. Totally different ball game, totally different circumstances. So pay attention. Let's see how this turns out. I didn't say it happened. I'm just saying this is what they're saying. So I'll read it again. The Iraqi government is currently weighing the question of changing the currency so that the official cost of a US dollar will be 1.32 dinars instead of 1,320 dinars. Implementing such a decision is likely to significantly increase al-Sudani's popularity. Unbelievable stuff, okay? That said, al-Sudani's popularity is just probably going to go through the roof. If he is on watch when they adjust the triple zeros from the currency exchange rate, I don't think there's going to be one person in Iraq that's not going to be pleased with that. But hey, the Abba al-Musawi, advisor to the former Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki, said in statements to Iraqi media that al-Sudani's achievements are achievements for everyone. He gives him kudos for that. But he also states that al-Sudani will not be re-elected as Prime Minister. He says, we're not afraid of al-Sudani. We have our audience, and it's a stable audience, he says. Okay. All right. Well, al-Maliki. I wonder how al-Maliki's feeling right now when there's still the spiker movement still not resolved yet. We'll see. That's still not part of our story, but some of those things that people need to think about. Here it says, this is the fascinating part, right? It says the Chamber of Commerce reveals that their expectations for the parallel market in Ramadan decline is the dominant feature. So it's the main feature that the parallel market will decline. Well, we all know parallel market is an illegal market. It's considered a black market, if you will. But why is that important? Is because why? This gentleman by the name of Tamimi comes out today and says the exchange rate of the dollar in the parallel market at the present time is somewhat stable. Okay, so it's been, what, around 1,500 or, I'm sorry, 150,000 dinars to a dollar, something like that. And it was climbing 160s, you know, pushing 170. But they've got that illegal market back down to about 150. Does it matter? No. What happens? If they adjust the exchange rate and delete the zeros, who's going to need the dollar when they apply the effective, real effective exchange rate to it? Nobody's going to need the dollar, per se. I mean, because the fact is the dinar is going to be a lot stronger than the dollar. And that's, my opinion, big time. Al-Tamimi points out today that our expectations is that the dollar exchange rate in Ramadan will indicate a continuation of the slow decline to below 150,000 dinars per $100. But we are in a situation where crisis or surprises could occur that change the course of the exchange rate and could come within hours. Okay, a crisis. All right, so what is that crisis? I don't think anybody's been paying attention to what I was just saying earlier is a crisis. The crisis is that there's a political crisis. To some degree, it looks to be that that's what's going on here, is that there's going to be some sort of a plan to attack the Prime Minister's achievements. That's kind of a crisis. So what does al-Sudani want to do? Well, if the government, he's part of the government, they say they want to change the value of the currency to 132 instead of 1320. That's basically saying we want to delete the zeros. Where did this come from? This came from the Jerusalem Post, highly reputable site. Okay, so that's where it came from. They are ones that basically, I think, kind of front run al-Sudani by saying what they said, or they helped al-Sudani front run his political opponents. But whether there's a crisis or surprises could occur that changes the course of the exchange rate within hours, Tamimi's probably not kidding. And the government basically is stating that they're in complete control of the dollar and all the transactions. So if they can control the dollar, they know that what they can do with the dinar. It is basically says that, here's a quote. Al-Khatimi says that the government is currently in complete control of the dollar in all transactions, and there is a real and serious work to strengthen the Iraqi dinar. So when you're going to strengthen something, so if you're going to do it, you're going to make it change to better. Be better. And what are they going to do? It could happen within hours. This is some of the most amazing stuff that we've seen out there. And thank you for all your guys' time with me this evening. I hope you guys enjoyed my content. If you do, I appreciate it. We'll try to keep coming with some new, fresh stuff, even before or while and after, so that we can pay attention. Our investment is still going to be an ongoing situation. So hit that like button. Please subscribe to our channel. I told you that we were at www.patreon.com/MMANDCREW. That's for MM and Crew. Please join us. Come into our Discord chat room and enjoy everybody. We do have our Zelle. We do have PayPal, and we have Venmo for those that are so kind to give even a small donation. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much, and have a great day.